Hey everybody, it's Phil Strazula from Select Software Reviews, back with Whiteboard Wednesdays, and today we're talking about HR career pathing. I had a conversation during my weekly office hours with a HR business partner who kind of threw me a curveball. Usually I talk about HR tech during these things, what ATS should I look at? How should I get internal buy-in for XYZ? And this person was like, okay, Phil, here's my goal. In 10 years, I want to be a chief people officer. What do you think I should do? Should I focus on HR or should I focus on TA? Because right now I'm sort of at this crossroads. And it's something that I haven't thought tremendously about before. And so I wanted to use this video actually to create a bit of a conversation. But my initial reaction, which upon further reflection, totally agree with, is that if you want to be this chief people officer or CHRO, although I think more and more we're going to see this chief people officer role sort of dominate, especially in more innovative, faster growing type of companies. You've got the HR path, you've got the TA path, and I personally believe that the most interesting path is actually something that's a little bit far afield, that is basically like an internal consultant. I've seen a couple of people carve out these roles for themselves where they're kind of like a McKinsey consultant that parachuted into this organization, and they're focusing on projects that relate to HR, that relate to talent acquisition, that relate to the entire employee lifecycle. And importantly, they're interfacing with the rest of the business, with sales and marketing, with engineering, with product development, and they're basically figuring out like what's going on with you guys and how do we translate that back into HR, into talent acquisition. A lot of this stuff is what an HR business partner would do in a lot of organizations, but I think what might be kind of different about this sort of role is that it's really a cross-functional on both sides of the equation, and it's incredibly strategic. And I say strategic and mean that they're tying what's going on in the business, what goes on in people, and then they're relating it to dollars and cents back to the P&L. The CFO looks at this person and says, wow, you're doing a good job. Like there's no doubt in my mind that you're adding a lot of value in a way that I appreciate as a cold-hearted capitalist CFO. And this person understands both of these core functions well enough to become this manager. And I think most importantly, they have the admiration of the rest of the organization. And so whether they rise up directly to the CPO once this person leaves, or they go to another organization, they've got all the tools to be successful. And in my opinion, that is probably the best way to get to that top dog spot. Of course, if you're in an organization where TA is everything and you want to stay at that company, you should probably be in TA, or vice versa. And of course, when you're talking about HR, it's more like the strategic aspects of HR, a lot of what this X person would do. But anyways, those are sort of my thoughts on people that have their sights eventually set on this chief people officer role. There's probably hours and hours of content around specifics that you can do, things you can look at. Would love to hear other people's thoughts, especially folks that have maybe gone from one of these two or this third thing into this more leadership role in an evolved human resources, people operations function. Phil Strazula from Select Software Reviews. Thanks for checking out Whiteboard Wednesdays.